Yeah, son. Damn, son.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil.
Hello and welcome back to Absolutely Not for the Meek, where we look to make common sense common. Unfortunately, common sense is not common. Alright, today's topic, I guess we call it Product of America. This is the culture. And we got big sexy Red over here. She far from sexy. Maybe she didn't have so much damn tattoos. And so ghetto. Whew. But we have a young lady over here, a rapper that I pretty much saw her video. I saw her lyrically. She doing it, but boy, oh my goodness. And you know what? And I have no malice towards the young lady. She's a nice looking young woman, and she got lyrical skills. I'm telling you, boy, she laid down. But we're gonna get to that. But you know, it's just the culture that we are in and where we're going. Well, I know where we come from. You know, I grew up in that era. I've seen what happened here in America. I've seen the crack epidemic full in my face. I've grown up and seen the neighborhood go to crap. People that I knew when I was a child that were making it, you know, they used to drink and smoke weed or whatever and everything, but they were all right, you know. Maybe some of them dealt with some heroin and everything, but man, when that crack hit, it was a whole new era. I do believe a lot of people died. I've seen kids that I grew up with. I knew their parents, and I go back to see them when we were like in high school. High school, I do believe. And the kids' parents totally, I think it was junior high school. Yeah, junior high school. And the parents were total crackheads. There was not one door on a room in the house. So this is what is the product of that era. And we know who brought the drugs in. Ronald Reagan, Iran-Contra. I mean, they've been doing this the whole time, and this is what we end up with. And with this system not being able to reel in our women to have authority over them, this is where it's gone. And as you can see in this photo, see the young man, little young boy here. Boy, I don't even know what he's going to turn into. But let's go into the show. Let's not hesitate. I'm going to start off with this TikTok here. Let's go.
The single mother pandemic is producing the worst black males.
But we are in a fucking crisis, a pandemic with this single mother and shit. It is a proven fact. And if you don't know what a fact is, look it up. But it is a proven fact that single mother households produce the worst product. If you take 2-parent households, single father household, single mother household, statistically based on facts,
Yep, you're right.
the household with the woman heading it by herself produces the worst product. So y'all need to start valuing men being involved in the lives of your children. A lot of these men that you were, when you're referring to, what men are doing with women in relationships, it comes from the fact that they lack a man in their upbringing. So we got a good majority of men that walk around and their thinking, their emotional capacity is that of a woman. Because all they ever saw was how to be an adult from a woman.
The beautiful young sister, the rapper I was telling you about. Very lyrically. I mean, you're gonna bump your head to this. Check this out.
They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend. Me and him a good mix like tonic and gin. Cause they had all I need in this life of sin. Call this pussy death row, is you out to end? Auntie in the summer, is you out to end? They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend. They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. I got him saved in my phone on the Fashion Nova. When he in the airplane, then I'm coming over. Break through the nigga door like red roll. I can't stop cause a bitch want a red rover. Ass twin like a Leah, can I come over? Hell yeah, nigga, lucky 4-leaf clover. Niggas got me fucked up like acrimony. Yellow Hellcat, same color macaroni. Ass fat, so you better know I got it on me. Pussy fuck your life up like Malasaroni. I ain't got 2 chains, but you can call me Tony. And I got no speaker, knocking did it by my lonely. Many men wanna kill a bitch like me. Many men wanna feel a bitch like me. Many men wanna drill a bitch like me. I let them eat it, better do it like Nike. They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend. Me and him a good mix like tonic and gin. Cause they had all I need in their life of sin. Call this pussy death row, is you out to end? Auntie in the summer, is you out to end? They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend.
Woo-wee! Oh, man.
Standards of the average black man is so low, they don't have to step their game up. That's the problem. You like anything that jiggles. 80% of black women are overweight, and all 80% of them get That should tell you something. That should tell you something that the black man is the janitor of the game right now. Every race laughs at us in our selection.
Damn. Flip a T. Damn, baby. Woof. I tell you, boy, obviously, this young lady got talent. I mean, yeah, I know there's some cuts up on that because they probably cut it because she was just going in. I mean, damn. She on that dirty South. She talented. I mean, look, she's a nice looking. She's pretty. I mean, she's pretty decent. She's pretty decent. Damn. I almost want to. I want to rock it again. I mean, damn. I wish I had a live chat so I could find out who wants to rock this shit again. You know what? I do. So here we go. Here we go once again.
They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend. Me and him a good mix like tonic and gin. Cause they had all I need in this life of sin. Call this pussy death row, is you out to end? Auntie in the summer, is you out to end? They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend. They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. I got him saved in my phone on the Fashion Nova. When he in the airplane, then I'm coming over. Break through the nigga door like red roll.
Standards of the average black man is so low, they don't have to step their game up. That's the problem. You like anything that jiggles. 80% of black women are overweight, and all 80% of them get niggas. That should tell you something. That should tell you something that the black man is the janitor of the game right now. Every race laughs at us in our selection.
Many men wanna kill a bitch like me. Many men wanna feel a bitch like me. Many men wanna drill a bitch like me. I let them eat it, better do it like Nike. They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend. Me and him a good mix like tonic and gin. Cause they had all I need in their life of sin. Call this pussy death row, it you out the end. Auntie in the summer, it you out the end. They don't know that we fucking cause he call me twin. They don't know that we fucking cause I call him friend.
Woo-wee. Damn, she good. And let's see what one of her co-conspirators are. This sexy red heifer.
Cream color, it's white, it look like nut. I got a clear color, I call that coochie juice. I got a pink one, it's called pussy hole pink. Brown one, booty hole brown.
Fly in the parachute, gripping that pole again. I'm on that.
How rotten you look in the eyes of the world. You don't give a damn no more. You have lost your sense of shame. So you're no longer human beings. You've become a race of animals. I'm your brother, damn it. And I love you. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna stand by and watch you destroy yourself and our people and our future with your foolishness. And we're gonna put a stop to your foolishness. You're not gonna misrepresent us to the world for a damn dollar from your enemy. We're not gonna allow that to happen anymore. We'll snatch your behind off the stage and whip your ass.
It's over. We are screwed.
That's right. That's what I've been saying. We see the buffoonery. I mean, do we not? Do we not see it? We see the buffoonery. And then just like, you know, when it comes down to the Jeezy situation, divorce, which I do believe she was crying. She went crying back then or whatever.
I don't like your message. It is like you are giving off the wrong thing. Like you are saying women should be children to men and behave. How you don't know Jeezy played a part in this. You, the type that will tell a woman she has to go along with abuse and everything else. Now, let me ask a question. Why do women do this? Why do women do this? Why is it that we're talking about a specific topic? We're talking about a specific conversation. We're talking about a specific thing. Why do women have to then reach and grab for things that I did not say that I'm condoning things that I definitely do not condone, just to try to negate the truth in the conversation? Why do women do this?
That's a good question. I was wondering that myself. Maybe you could address it.
Why? And it's the same thing that you guys do in your relationship. You will have a disagreement with your partner and he will tell you things and the things will ring so true that all of a sudden you have to go and bring up something that has nothing to do with what he's talking about in the moment.
Facts.
You have to deflect and try to create the most obtuse situation because you don't want to stay on topic. And again, because you don't like the message. You don't have to like the message. It doesn't make it any less true. And women do have to learn how to behave.
Exactly.
You know, it's interesting because as men have to learn how to behave in society, in life. If they don't behave, there's going to be repercussions. As women, we also need to learn how to behave. It is true. Why is behavior or learning how to behave, why is that only associated with a child? But since you brought up children, I didn't bring it up, since you brought it up, let's use that as an example. When a child is misbehaving, right? When we're looking at this child and saying, hey, don't throw that, don't hit, don't bite, we are teaching the child the skills and the tools on how they are going to be able to maneuver in society as a whole. We want to make sure that they are the best human beings when they grow up. Right? As women, when nobody can't tell you nothing, when nobody can't point out your flaws, when nobody can't say that you possibly have something to work on, what are we doing with you as a woman? We are creating this person in society who feels like they are above the law, who feels like they are above correction, who feels like a man can't tell them what to do, can't show them, although he's supposed to be providing leadership skills, protection, all of these things. But he's not supposed to be able to tell you how you are allowed to communicate with him.
Facts.
How you are supposed to, quote unquote, behave, although he is responsible for you. As a parent is to a child, he is responsible for you. But in his responsibility, he can't communicate on the ways that you're supposed to behave. Make it make sense. I'm not even going to address the part of abuse and everything else because we all know that's foolishness. Like, we all know that's foolish. That does not make any sense.
Man, this woman, I love this woman right here. She is so on point. They always want to talk about what you're like, why are you getting loud? Because I'm freaking fed up. I'm fed up with your garbage, your trash. It's just, like I said the other day, I watched Idiocracy again. And I mean, damn, it's like it's getting to that. The most vile things is now the culture. And who carries the culture? Women or females. Let's call them females. Very few women in the world. This is a woman right here. You just heard talking. It's just a sad situation. This is why society is imploding as we speak. It's because of the culture. This is why men do not wish to work, don't wish to do anything anymore. It's like it makes no sense because the first thing they do is they go call the corporate arm, the PO, just like these countries are sick and tired of the United States because the corporate arm, the military comes into their land and overthrow them and stuff like that. It's crazy. But it's just amazing how, me, for my generation, a Gen X, I grew up in a whole nother situation, a whole nother world. And nowadays, I feel as though, man, I don't know what type of world I'm in. I had never seen that like this. The depravity, the thievery, the foulness. It's just insane. But let's go. She got more for us. Listen.
That does not make any sense. You'd rather talk about, you're the type to tell a woman to go along with this. But at the same time, you're saying that everybody, the last person said everybody has a temper. And you're saying that women are supposed to be, they're not supposed to be controlled or taught how to behave. But at the same time, if a woman is using her mouth to verbally or emotionally cause harm to a man, he's supposed to deal with it. So only people who are supposed to be covered or protected from something like, harm, emotionally, physically, or whatever, is women. But men are immune to it. Mm-hmm. This is how I know what you're saying don't make no sense.
No sense.
This is how we know what you're saying don't make no sense.
Illogical.
Okay? This video, I love this comment. This comment said, I think this video is for clicks. Women always hold other women accountable.
Never.
Who gonna tell her? When and where? When and where do women hold women accountable? Besides here. In other places like these. When and where? The majority of women go along to get along. They support the buffoonery. They know that they can't tell their friend the truth because if they do, she might not be her friend no more. We're in a space that if you try to correct a woman and tell her like, hey, you know, the way that you're representing us or representing ourselves, you're going to get shamed for it. You're going to get cursed out about it. You know, people going to wring your neck about it. This is delusional. Again, the delusion.
Straight up delusion. And that's what they are, delusional. Speaking of delusion.
See, reading is bisexual in your mentality. I think it was Plato, Play-Doh, who stuck to the wall when he said one must put his transvestite in jeopardy if one wants to become a cunning linguist. Like Vanna White. Now, hermaphrodite, try it again.
Yes, indeed. So, it's another one.
I'm gonna tell you the whole truth.
Thank you
is
for
that
that.
Is that a problem?
Do you yield the floor? I want to make sure that
Yes.
I'm respecting your
Yes.
time. Okay, fantastic. So, number one, and I will play this clip because I found it to be a comical clip that you made. You know, people were insulting you, calling you a male, and you flip that in a very clever way. You're an intelligent person, and you know that's something we can all acknowledge. One thing you're not
right.
is a good listener, because you just spoke about the manosphere, and I already stated that I'm not a part of the manosphere.
You have a
And-
manosphere mentality though, so it's the same thing. I don't care.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. This is quite common, and I bet you'd be an expert on this because you're a person, a female, presumably, who's been hyper attentive to what's going on in the manosphere for no explainable reason. All I could see is that it's about money and clout. And so what I asked you earlier, is there some other reason that you're putting yourself onto these platforms?
Well, to get a message out. You know why? Because a lot of women are actually on the butt end of these podcasts. And so it's about being a person to stand up and be an example for women to follow. I don't mind going in any space I have to get a message out, right? So go ahead and play what you got to play, brother.
Okay, we have Billionaire said, I can already tell that even if you destroy her in this debate, her fans won't get it through their thick heads just off these insults already. I hope you all have an open mind and willingness to learn.
Indeed. You caught up? Okay. So, number one, I think that you've already misrepresented women. For example, you stated that women are on the butt end of these podcasts. No, women are not on the butt end of these podcasts. Harlots, promiscuous women, women with low IQs are on the butt end of these podcasts, because the fact is, an average, everyday, respectable woman who's a professional would never show up on one of these podcasts. So these podcasts overrepresent OnlyFans girls. They overrepresent women who sexualize themselves for money, i.e. high-tech prostitutes. So those are the subsection of females that are represented, and they go on there willingly. So you're already lying when you're suggesting that women
on that
are
particular podcast, or all podcasts that speak about
we
women?
can't speak about all podcasts. That would be literally impossible. But that particular podcast is one of the most popular ones in the world. That being the case, they reach a wider audience, and they've been copycatted by many different podcasts. Hence, it's worth talking about them.
In our society right now, Black women are making a lot more money for the most part than Black men, right? There are a lot of Black men who are successful, but for the most part, Black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job and is a good man, and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm gonna cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you handle the light bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then. That is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's so hard for a lot of people to take in because that means, no, I need somebody to, who is, they need to make 5 times more and I got to have, well, go on, keep your list, baby.
Yeah.
God bless you, hope it happens.
God damn. I got something going on over here. I'm done broke my thing. I think the feminists done destroyed my shit. These are the celebrities that are now no longer together. I mean, goddamn, the betrayal was real, right? So there was a brother, he stated something that, this is all we want. I mean, this is, I hope that this is the right one.
Well, you losing your mind when you trying to cuff a bitch, period. Though.
And some of those guys tend to forget.
Because nowadays, if you trying to cuff a woman, women that had too many dicks anyway, man. They ain't been with too many men. Your best bet, man, is to enjoy the person while you got them. And don't put too much into a bitch, man, because you're going to be disappointed. The majority of the relationships, or what we call relationships, don't work.
And that's a sad fact. That's what I've come to. Not hating on no women. I mean, love them. Definitely love them. You gotta love them. I mean, shoot, they're everything that a man wants. You gotta love them, but man, you're not gonna tolerate the buffoonery though. But anyway, let's go into what I said before about the brother that is now out of the country. Now, this is Paul Lee, an Asian dude, and he's gonna give the reasons why he has left the United States for better horizons. Let's check it out.
A few years ago, I left America for good and moved straight to Bangkok, Thailand. I'm going to explain why I pretty much permanently left America and how much more my quality of life has improved. I'm going to give you a little bit of my story just to show you some context and where I'm coming from. I was born in America in a small city in the suburbs from a lower class family, and ever since I was a teenager, I always wanted to be successful and rich. I saw everyone traveling, going to beautiful hotels and doing all these fancy things, and that's really why I wanted to be successful, was to be able to kind of achieve some of those things. I was convinced that I could do it, so I began my entrepreneurial journey at around 18. I started multiple businesses, failed a lot, just kept trying, and basically just grinded away for several years, just in isolation, just constantly working. Long story short, I eventually found success, enough so that I was able to move away from a small city, actually one of the most dangerous cities in America, move all the way from there to New York City. And I was able to retire my dad as well. So this was one of the best things. Like, life was going very well and I had basically achieved all my dreams. I was just living this lavish, very grand lifestyle. Yeah, everything was good until it wasn't. I found out that this thing that I was working so hard for, this lifestyle, all this money that I was working for, like this status, the destination I was working so hard for, didn't end up making me feel fulfilled. I had a lot of money. I was in the best city in America. Like, there's nowhere in my mind, there's nowhere that's topping New York. So I was like, wow, there's nothing really left. There's nothing else to strive for. This is it. And every day I would ask myself, like, how do I fill myself with as much pleasure as possible? I started getting so depressed, and a lot of these problems, they amplified in New York City, and I feel like I just had to leave New York. So I decided to try and live around and travel around in America, but I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and just do a spontaneous trip somewhere. I did some research and I decided I'm gonna visit Bangkok, Thailand. My plan was just to stay there for a while and then, cure my depression and then probably just come back to America. So that's what I did. I came to Bangkok, Thailand in the middle of the pandemic. I endured the 14-day quarantine, which was, I don't even know how I did that. And I just quickly fell in love with the city. When I first arrived in Thailand, I realized that many of the locals actually didn't know that much English and it was a bit difficult getting around. So when you first visit any new country, I think you should at least pick up some of the basics. And arriving back in America, all the things that I didn't like about America, it just became a lot more apparent. And it gave me a huge reality check on the toxic lifestyle I was living. While I do love a lot of things about America, there are a lot of things I didn't like about America, which I'm going to mention right now. The never-ending consumerism. It's like you're always buying things to try and keep up with the Joneses, to try and impress other people. I feel like that's a huge part of American culture, is just constantly trying to consume and never feeling like you have enough. And also like the livability of America. Unless you're in a huge urban city, most of America is built for cars. They're not built for walking. So you cannot walk to like the nearest market or a cafe or like see a bunch of people gathered outside just enjoying the city, enjoying each other's presence. It's more like you wake up by an alarm, you commute to work or to school, like pretty much for the majority of your life, and then you commute back to your home and you eat and then you sleep. And then rinse and repeat. And then maybe on the weekends you will go out. So that's like pretty much like majority of people live their life that way. And it feels like very soul sucking. And here in Thailand, the way I live my lifestyle here, it's kind of like the way a lot of people would live their life on vacation. Like for example, going to an onsen spa or staying at an accommodation with a beautiful sunset, rooftop pool that looks like it could be like a 5-star hotel that costs like thousands of dollars a night. And I'm living that kind of lifestyle here in Bangkok for incredibly cheap. So it's like, this is the daily norm for me because it's accessible and it's affordable. Whereas if I were to do these things in America, I would have to have a lot of money to access this kind of lifestyle. Another thing is the polarization and the division of America. It's like you cannot even have an opinion about anything that's even remotely disagreeable without everybody trying to cancel you or without like your quote unquote friends trying to say how you're such a bad person. Like I've seen like families and friends just torn apart by politics about like topics like this. You cannot even have a conversation because everybody just is so politically triggered, and it's done by like the people at the top. I truly think that the people that are running America do not have the average person's best interests in mind. Call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I've seen that happen a lot in America. Next is safety and crime. Actually, in my apartment that I was living in, I lived in Wall Street, by the way, which is not a bad area of town. Somebody got killed there, and then just a few minutes walk from my apartment, this Asian guy was walking. Some guy looked at him and he didn't like the way he looked, so he literally stabbed him in the back. Now, I was living in New York during the pandemic, so a lot of Asian hate crimes were happening. Asian grandmas being pushed in the trains and just like Asian people just being beaten up. I'm not trying to be like a victim here, but I was extremely conscious of the potential danger around me. If you look on the news or social media, like there's just random assaults, random killings, random stabbings in the West. All these malls and all these stores are getting shoplifted, and just like crime is exploding in America or in the West. And it's really sad to see, and it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel secure. Not only that, but it's also extremely overpriced, and inflation is just skyrocketing. Like people would be spending like $3,000 for an apartment that's unfurnished, that has no nice view of the city, that has no like nice pool. It's just like a basic place that costs like thousands. And I'm like, dude, if they came to Thailand, they could live like a king for like $500 a month. But it's so normalized to spend such a ton of money in America on basic living standards. Another thing is the
mind you, you can live like that in places like Thailand and these other poor countries because they really don't have much of an economy. They don't have no industry. That's why you can live there like that. And you better make sure you got you making online money to live there. Or you're retired, you got a pension and stuff like that. You gotta have money coming in, the American dollar coming in, while it lasts.
Culture and the lack of compassion for each other. I think why America is very successful and prosperous is because of its individualism and the concept of like the American dream is constantly just trying to make it, trying to be successful. Whereas in Asia, it's very collectivist, which I really like, and just really looking out for another. And another thing is all the toxic ingredients in like products and foods and literally everything.
Yes, America has all this GMO, all this fake stuff they feeding us, and it's gonna get worse. You're gonna be eating bugs soon. So I agree with him 100%.
our environment. Like I can't even go to a grocery store without half of the things on the shelf not being fit for human consumption, like all the chemicals, and none of this stuff is banned. Like if I compare like a cereal box here in Thailand versus the same cereal in America, the ingredient list is massively different. So I just feel like in America, like a lot of it's poison, a lot of it's garbage. Whether it's intentional or not, it's just, it is what it is. I cannot trust anything, like the news, the things I'm eating, the water I'm drinking. It's like, why can't I just live in a society where things are good and...
Oh no, sir. Not in America. Not in America, but maybe you get it there.
Things aren't like trying to cause me damage or cause me harm, and I feel like a lot of things in America in America it's just like you have so much distrust in everything. And lastly, it's transportation. For me personally, I hate driving. I hate the liability of having a car and just having to fill up gas, having to sit in traffic. But to be honest, the subway system in New York was pretty good and pretty convenient, but that's not like anywhere else in America where there's no such thing as like a train. You have to pretty much drive everywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much a short list of all the things I don't really like about America, and I feel like Bangkok in particular didn't have a lot of these problems. So I questioned why I had to stay. Why can't I just leave? And I was in a perfect position to do that because I was financially secure. I didn't have like a mortgage or like a bunch of liabilities. So I eventually just ended up selling everything I owned in America. I took the leap of faith and bought the one-way ticket to Bangkok, Thailand with 2 backpacks, and the rest has been history. I've essentially been here for about 3 years and I absolutely love everything about living here in Thailand. I've got a great girlfriend, which you might often see on my channel. I have a great community. I have a healthy balance between work and play and social and just...
God bless you, brother. We all hope to one day get there one day soon.
Self-care and all of those things. I'm able to save a lot of money and also have a better quality of life, and spending only like $2,000 a month to live like a very, very comfortable lifestyle here compared to America where you can't even really get by with $2,000 a month, let alone live comfortably. And overall, everything has just improved tremendously. So the takeaway is back then I was just constantly pursuing the idea of success and wealth, but what I was actually pursuing was freedom. Freedom to be able to travel, to experience nature, to have time, to live in a great environment. Like these are things that you don't even need to be hugely successful or wealthy to achieve. The way I've kind of hacked it was like location arbitrage by living in Bangkok, Thailand, where I'm able to access these things for a lot cheaper while also being in a great environment. It doesn't have to be Bangkok, Thailand. It could be somewhere wherever else in the world. Mine just happened to be Bangkok. So that's pretty much my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you share any of my thoughts or any of your experiences, connect with me on Instagram at I'm Paul Lee, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Wonderful, wonderful. Damn, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Not at all. Why can't we all move to Thailand? Huh? Man, hopefully one day I can move to Thailand. But I know this thing is a wrap. What was this? Maybe I'll go ahead. I mean, you know why America is degenerating? It's because they done galvanized feminism to destroy the men in their lives, the ones in their life and the ones that they raise. And now
you're getting. And millions of workers who dropped out of the labor force during the COVID-19 lockdowns have yet to return. A peacetime labor shortage has erupted, yet vast numbers of men and women are still sitting on the sidelines of the economy. America is renowned for its work ethic, and rightly so. The average worker in the United States clocks more hours each year than those in Canada, Australia, Western Europe, and now even Japan. That's not something to be proud of. We don't get anything for clocking in more. Our societies aren't turning into utopias. Our streets are full of crime, homeless, businesses closing down because mass looting. What are we getting for working like slaves to the bone? Oh yeah, we have an upper class that's richer than everybody else. Yeah, we have a government that taxes the hell out of everybody and collects so much money, they don't even know what to do with it. Anytime you try to audit the military-industrial complex, they just can't explain where trillions of dollars go. Crazy. But those are work patterns of US men and women holding down a job. A flight for work in modern America is simultaneously afoot. First became evident among men in their prime between 25 and 54. Today, over 7 million of these men of prime working age are neither working nor looking for work. And now in the wake wake of COVID calamity, the men without work syndrome seems to be spreading, afflicting parts of the U.S. workforce that did not suffer from it before the pandemic. Work rates for older Americans 55 plus remain stuck at pre-vaccine levels. Warning lights seem to be flashing from prime age women as well. Oh my God, you screwed up men's abilities to find meaningful work. Women most affected? Modern America's flight from work problem began in the 60s among prime age men. For the first 2 decades of the post-war era, their work rates and labor participation were consistent and high. Then something happened. Ordinarily, prime age men are society's providers. Here we go. But a steady retreat from the workforce has been underway amongst this crucial contingent for over half a century. Today's work rates for prime age American men are actually lower than in the 40s, when America's unemployment rate stood at almost 15%. So our real unemployment rate is probably somewhere around here, 15%. And I'm asking you to think, viewer, what began in the 1960s that is being perpetuated through society today at increasing levels? What is it called? It starts with an F. It is no surprise that the tax base had doubled around then. It's no surprise that the workforce got flooded with more labor. It's no surprise that wages have begun to go stagnant around that time in relation to cost of living and adjusting for inflation, of course. When did we start shipping job overseas? When did manufacturing start going overseas? Oh yeah, probably around that time too. Isn't it crazy? So the issues we're dealing with today all can be traced back to certain policies decades prior. Yes, prime age American men have a depression scale work problem today. But unlike in the Depression, the post-war collapse of work for men has little to do with unemployment per se, rather has been driven by exodus from the labor force. At the time of writing, for every unemployed prime age American man looking for a job, there are over 4 neither working nor looking for work. For 2 generations, the flight from work has exhibited uncanny regularity. 6 years ago, in my book Men Without Work first appeared, I showed the rising prime age male MILF rates traced out a near constant path from 65 through 2015, practically a straight line, steady heading upwards, all but unaffected by business cycles or other notable events. Today, unaccountably, it remains on almost exactly the same trajectory as in 2016, 6 world-shaking years and on 1 global pandemic later. At present, 6 world-shaking years, fucking leftist. At present, the prime age male MILF rate is at 3.5 times its 65 level. Received wisdom in academic and policy circles sees declining male workforce participation as a matter of economic and structural change. That's all it is, you see? It's just normal economics. It's just a change in the dynamics of the economy we're in. It's not policies, it's not culture wars, it's nothing that was instituted decades prior. You know, that people on the other side were yelling, hey, this is going to negatively impact men. Hey, this is going to negatively impact the workforce, the jobs that are available. Hey, this isn't good for the future of our children. Hey, no. This is normal. This is expected as the economy evolves into its modern day form. At least that's what they tell us. The eggheads in college, you know. It says reduced demand for less skilled work, technological innovation and disruption, globalization and the like. True to an extent, but that demand-focused storyline is critically incomplete. Those conventional explanations can't account for some of the most basic characteristics of the post-war male flight from work, not at least its relentless, near invariant nature. Further, given today's unprecedented peacetime labor shortage, variations on the no work to be had argument are no longer tenable. Major sections of the economy are now wide open to applicants without any great skills, apart from the quote skills of showing up to work regularly, on time and drug-free. It's always a man's fault. There you go. We're just losers. We don't want to work and we're drug addicts. Awesome. In the post-lockdown recovery, job openings soared. Since Labor Day 21, unfilled non-farm positions have averaged over 11 million a month. For every unemployed man and woman in the U.S. today, there are nearly 2 open jobs. The current labor shortage affects every sector of the economy in every region of the country. Well, if we're going to go by, supply and demand, market economics, why don't you offer to pay more? I hear this all the time. We're trying to hire for work. The wages look like dog shit. If you are that hungry for employees, raise the damn pay. The job gets filled. You want slaves to work for you that can't survive off the paycheck you're trying to provide, or the hours you're trying to provide, or the benefits you've curtailed, and you're surprised no one wants to work for your shit company. Why this extraordinary imbalance between the demand for work and the supply of it in a market economy? Aren't markets supposed to seek equilibrium? I wonder. Yes, but markets solve economic problems. They do not cure social pathologies. Here, are they going to blame men for this? I'm wondering. Record high job vacancies coexist with depression level work rates for men because a vast pool of unworking prime age men, and increasingly also others, apparently cannot be lured back in the workforce no matter how tight labor market conditions get, no matter how much bargaining power workers possess from labor scarcity, as they currently do under the so-called Great Resignation. Wow, dude, this is a freaking fluff piece from the elites to get you to go back to work. They're literally lying to your face, telling you that you have bargaining power, worker prowess. Workers have been getting fucked more today than they've ever had in the past. Your grandpappy's job managed to afford him the white picket fence.
You know, the actuality, what it is, these companies collected that PPP loan and went ahead and then opened back up. It was like, oh, we can't hire nobody because they was still using that money. Oh, come on. This is what girls do. See this? Interruption. Hold on. See that? Oh, okay. All right. You're gonna throw her bottle. Okay, she's gonna have a little fit. Yeah. So like I said, they were just sitting on that money. And what kills me is you got all these fast food restaurants like closing their doors and everything. I mean, man, I'm so glad I didn't go ahead and open up a food joint. I tell you, I was gonna do some businesses. I was looking at something to do, and I was just like thinking to myself, I'm like, nah, that don't really make much sense. Because if I do that, certain things just wouldn't make sense. It'd be too much effort, too much. But anyway, too busy. Oh boy. Let's continue what he's saying.
Big yard, big house, woman and 2 kids. Yours doesn't. Why are you going to break your back and be a slave when you can't have those things? This is what they're not talking about. Instead, you're a lazy bum, you're a loser, and you like to be a hermit in your room. That's what they're saying. Some men make the choice and go, I'd rather not be a slave for current wages where I can't even afford the apartment anyway. I can't afford to feed myself barely anyway. I still have to live with roommates anyway. There's no way I could have a woman, kids. Why should I break my back for a company that also doesn't reward me for staying loyal? In order to get pay raises these days, you have to switch companies every 2 years. You actually make far more money if every 2 years you resign and get another position somewhere else. Companies don't give a shit about you. They treat their workers like shit. Corporate culture today is exactly that. You're disposable. No wonder people don't want to work for your soulless corporation because you don't treat them right. You don't care that they put in 40 years as a company man. Those days have passed. 40 years as a company man is unheard of today. In the 60s, that was normal. Ted would be working for the same company, doing the same thing, moving on up for 40, 50, 60 years until he retired. And he got a plaque on the wall, and he was appreciated. Nowadays, you're a sucker if you stay more than 5 years with the company because they're going to drain you. They'll hire somebody that you'll probably have to train that will eventually replace you because they're going to ask for less money or too stupid to ask for the amount of money you're currently making. You're seen as a burden to be at a company for multiple years now because your salary increases are getting too high. They can just hire somebody to do the same monkey job of pulling the damn lever for cheaper. And that's what they tend to do. What a joke, man. This is literally written by elites to make it seem like all the power is in your hands. How could you possibly be unhappy? The market's perfect for work. But they can't raise the damn wages then. In absolute terms, the current level of unfilled jobs is at about 4 million higher than immediate pre-COVID level. And today's manpower levels are roughly 4 million workers lower than if the workforce have kept growing on its pre-COVID trend. I'm trying to skip through this article to see if there's anything even worth talking about here, because that's crazy. It says, thanks to, look at this, ass-kissing the government. Thanks to Washington's emergency relief transfers, in fact, America had more money in their pockets during pandemic emergency years than they cared to spend, thus a jaw-dropping jaw-dropping, totally unforeseen doubling of a person's savings rates during the time of a national economic crisis. You know, 70% of Americans don't have $400 fucking dollars put away, saved, or the ability to save up $400 for an emergency. So we're just saying that literally people essentially got $800 in savings now. You gave people $1,200 and expected them to last a year on that piece of shit payment while you closed everything down, made people lose their businesses, and evaporated most of the fucking wealth from the middle class and sucked it on up to the elite. What are you talking about?
Shout out Legion of Men. Damn. This brother, he's on it. He's on point. He's a winner. Sign up to this brother. He done left. I think he's living in Romania. Something like that. Last I saw, he lived in Dubai. Check him out.
Look at how they frame this. Jaw-dropping. Emergency relief transfers. The fucking PPP programs are what saved major corporations. Big companies took money from the public, saved themselves, while the little guy got screwed. You know, in Europe, they were paying people their monthly wages up to 100% for every month that they were closed. Businesses were also having their cash flow taken care of as if they were open. Don't know what percentages, but a high percentage. You in America got one fucking payment one time and we're told, figure it out, bro. This is us taking care of you. Look what's happening to the people in Hawaii, in Lanai. They got $700, bro. Their house is burned down. Their land, predators are already swooping down trying to take it for themselves.
Facts.
All the rich ass.
Facts. But yet they got billions to send to Ukraine for, oh my goodness, Nazis. I tell you what, they're imploding this place. Can you imagine your house maybe getting hit with a high energy weapon or something like that, and you burnt out and then they're gonna say, oh, here's $750 while you're out there homeless, everything's been decimated, just waiting for you to just suffer so badly that you say, yo, I'll just sign it over. This is just ridiculous. I can't do it no more. I can't hold out. That's what they're doing. It's so obvious.
Sold. You got $700, but we got 100 billies to send to Ukraine. Wow. Unreal. Emergency relief transfers, bro. Jaw-dropping. We'll just read this last part because this is straight up propaganda from the elite. There are uncomfortable echoes of men without work, disease, and some of the COVID-era time use readings among older Americans, especially in MILF men aged 55 to 64, some too for some prime-age women, especially those without children at home, not currently married, and neither employed nor in education and training. We also see a worrisome prevalence of medication, self-medication, for pain in those other groups. In 2021, at least 45% of NILF males, 55 to 64-year-olds, and prime-age NEET women without kids at home or current spouses report taking pain meds every day. Yeah, our healthcare is fucking busted too. Surprise, surprise. Warning signs that growing numbers of Americans are ambivalent about or allergic to working should not be ignored. Oh, we're allergic to hard work. We were just called the hardest workers in the world. We've passed up Japan. People are realizing they're getting screwed and cutting back on spending and choosing to live a more dignified life instead of being a corporate wage cuck. You mean people don't want to keep up with the Joneses anymore? I mean, a swath of us have chose to go overseas instead, the other retiring to smaller towns. You mean we don't want to partake in the hedonism and materialism today? Oh my God, infinite growth, there it goes. How's our society going to grow? How are you going to keep consuming? How are we going to have record earning calls, quarterly reports? Consume, citizen, consume, consume, consume. Nope. This is like corporate propaganda of why you need to return to work. Please, we got to be rich. Our bags are light and I need a second yacht. Could you please be a slave and come back and work, please?
Man, so much has come about. You know, you got this massive influx of migrants coming into the country. And let me tell you something, it's going to get worse. There's tens of thousands of them heading this way right now. And they're coming to a place where there's no jobs. AI is taking over most of the job. In 3 years, majority of the jobs will be taken over by AI. And those are jobs with people that know how to speak English, know how to read and write, that have some skill set. They have a skill set. They have an education. And then you have tens of thousands of non-educated. Because damn for sure, let's have some common sense. The people that are educated down in these places, they're still there. They're living good. They got money. They're in the economy. They're doing their damn thing. Stop playing. Damn, you actually think the best of the best is coming? Man, woo! I tell you, boy, idiocy. But I'm gonna leave this one right here. I think he said it. He's dropping too many dimes. Too many dime pieces. And we will end this with some common sense.
They fucking scam. So you wake up early in the morning to go to work to pay for a house that you're never at. And you pay for a car that primarily gets you from and to work, correct? The government takes anywhere from, let's say 30 to 50% of your wages. And then there's things like VAT, which is basically your money getting taxed that was already taxed. You save up your whole life for a pension, which at the end of the day, the government takes 40 to 50% of that. Then in your elder years, you're living off canned soup and fucking bread because that's all you can afford. And then you get your state pension, which you can't get until you're like 180 years old. And even with that, if you die before you get it, you can't even pass it down to your kids. The government takes it. We are all getting scammed so fucking bad. It's almost comical. People don't see this shit. How can you work 40 or 50 hours a week, especially nowadays, to pay for fucking nothing? So figure 200 hours a month, you give your life to a corporation. And then halfway through the month, you're struggling to get to payday. Sounds pretty fucking familiar, doesn't it? We're giving our lives away for nothing. It is a scam. We're losing more by going to work than staying our asses home. All a big scam.
Yeah, that's straight facts. You know, when I had my business, I would just, when I wanted to maintain my money and rates were low, I wouldn't go. I'm not moving it. I'm not doing it for that cheap money. Because you go out, you run the risk of breaking something that you're going to have to repair. And then you go ahead and you're blowing all this money on fuel expenses and anything like that. And you're just making just enough to pay that. It ain't worth it. Pay for your fuel. You ain't making enough to pay for that repair. So it's a waste of time, and that's exactly what they got with this economy. It's just garbage. It's all fake. It's all bullcrap. But you got to do your own business. That's the only way you're gonna survive. You're gonna have your own business. You're doing your own services and make your own money. Because common sense is like deodorant. The people who need it most never use it. Bill Murray. Until next time, my friends, be well.